my time as a student. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I, at the time, had a conversation with my college coach, and he had mentioned, possibly coaching college football. And so I started to apply to a bunch of different jobs. I mean, I applied to like hundreds of GA positions across the country, and even helped out with Alma College in the spring that year, my senior year. And I got a call from Bob Rankel, who is the head coach at Alfred University right now. He was the OC at the time, and they asked me to come interview. So I went out there. My mom drove me out there, and didn't have a car at the time, and interviewed, and they offered me the job. So that's kind of how I got my start, just being a GA at Alfred.
Okay. So now, and then you went from Alfred, and you were there for 2 years, getting your MBA as a GA, and then did you have a connection to get you into with
Allegheny?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, how that went, I actually, after Alfred, I went and worked a few months at a company called Quicken Loans. I was searching for coaching jobs, but had not found one yet. And then around July, I got a call from the head coach at Allegheny, Mark Matlack. My connection to that was I had a buddy, his name is Nate Robinson, who had worked for Mark, and they were kind of scrambling. They got a guy that left it late, And so he gave me a call. I took an interview there, went out there and did the interview, and then basically just quit my job on the spot and moved out there because there was a couple weeks till training camp. So, yeah, that was kind of the story of how I got to Allegheny.
And then from there, it led to SUNY, the Mustangs, SUNY Morrisville, and you've really moved up. I mean, it sounds like you've done everything since you've been there. I mean, to start, safeties coach, linebacker coach, defensive coordinator, and then COVID happens. And what was that like during COVID? Where you were the interim head coach at that point, or?
Yeah, it was a crazy situation. So, I got an opportunity in 2017. Coach Fitz gave me the opportunity to be the defensive coordinator. And so I actually, my connection to Morrisville was I recruited New York State when I was at Allegheny, and I had known their offensive line coach, Coach Rochford, and he had known me, and he was kind of the reason I was able to get an interview. And basically, Coach Fitz in February of 2020, right before the pandemic, took a job at Cortland as the head coach. And the opportunity became available for me to be the intern. And so I decided to take a risk. And, I was young, obviously, but, when you get an opportunity, you got to be willing to take it. And so I did. And a month later, we're shutting everything down. So it was not planned. I mean, if it had been during COVID, I probably would have chose a little bit of a different route. But, at the end of the day, I was the leader at the time because of the situation, and then we got thrown into a really crazy situation with having me and only one other coach throughout the duration of the COVID situation.
Because I am blown away what you've done. So 2021, you go from 2-8. Last year, 7-4. I mean, talk about a jump. And your defense was ranked number 1 in the Empire 8, which,
correct.
I mean, and 11th in the nation.
Yep.
So I looked at the program. 2006, the best year the program had was 2014. And I know that every year, you come up with goals. Is there? I mean, I'm not trying to take. And when does training camp start? I don't want to jump ahead. When does training camp?
Yeah, it starts August 9th.
August 9th. Okay.
Yep.
Now, do you have? I guess you have goals after last season. I mean, also, right? I mean, your specific goals. I'm not asking to give everything away, but now that you're in the job now, and it's almost like a quarterback. Everything is everything slowing down for you in a way where, I mean, I know you have a lot of responsibilities, but do you see things that you're definitely improving on things every year? But how's all that going for you?
Yeah. I mean, it's going well. I mean, my first year as a head coach, I made a lot of mistakes. Just like any first head coach would do, and we set out after that season to correct some of those mistakes, along with our players, our players and our coaches.
Right.
And we had a good year last year. Partly, one thing I will bring up about the 2-8 year, kind of going to 7-4. We made a lot of changes in the sense of how our focus level and our commitment level, right? But the foundation of our program has always been pretty strong. Coach Fitz, when he got here, and I want to say he got here in 2013.
Right.
And the program was really struggling. We had already had winning seasons, in 18, 19, 14, 15. So there was a history. Even with our seniors last year, they had won in 18 and 19. So throughout the last 4 seasons, we've had winning records.
Right.
So our guys knew how to win. It was just a matter of recommitting to the process of winning. And I think in 2021, I made a lot of mistakes in terms of, wanting to change too much at some times or changing the wrong things. And then we weren't focused on the details as much as we should have been. And so for me, it's just been taking more ownership and evaluating myself critically every single year, and our staff doing the same thing and taking responsibility for the performance on the field. And I think once we recommitted to our process of just focusing one day at a time and getting better every single day, that's really helped us. So it is slowing down in the sense that as you get more experience, you sort of know what to expect, or what to take. We were just talking about today, actually. We know what things actually matter and what things don't,
Right.
when it comes to actually performing on the field. And I, as far as big goals go, I think it's really important. We talk with our players all the time. Our goal is to win the first game. We're not focused on. I've never been a big fan of saying, "Oh well, let's go win." Everyone wants to win a conference title. Anyone that says they don't, it's something we all want, right? So the drive to be successful, you want to be the best, right? But in terms of what we can control right now, we can control focusing on what do we do today, or when training camp starts, what are we doing to be able to win the first game?
Right.
And once you win the first game,
you go to win the second.
One of our D-line coaches, he used to be a high school coach, and he talked about that being a goal.